Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation and know yourself. The two are interchangeable. And today, so this is a Friday fry up. So we're back here on a Friday again. And at the moment, it is 12:05 a.m. here in the UK. So apologies for being a little bit later than planned. I had to just do some extra research and stuff. But look, before I start the show, is it just me or is anyone else just feeling really pissed off and disappointed with global leaders right now? With all of this stuff with, Trump and the regime and Iran and wanting this regime change and just all of this. Oh, absolute utter douchebaggery. And we're just look, don't get me wrong. There are amazing things happening in the world. As you know, I've just come back from, Nomad Cruise and stuff. I've been networking with amazing, talented people that want the best for the world. Most of the vast majority of humanity wants the best of the world. But we've got these SOB, warmongering, sociopathic, malignant narcissists in the world that are hell-bent on the destruction of humanity and Gaia just for their egos and their greed. And it's just, they will literally destroy the world. And I'm just so tired of it. I don't know. I'm sure you guys feel the same. I'm just so tired of these people. I'm so tired of Trump. I'm so tired of his regime. I'm so tired of the douchebags that still support this crap. Yeah, at least there's a bit of revolt in some of the MAGA base, because obviously they're realizing that he's wanting to go to war with Iran, which is going to be catastrophic. Catastrophic. Mainly for America. If America really actually goes in now, and there is rumor apparently that Trump wants to go in on the weekend, so it's not going to spook the markets as much. It's just over. It's just over, and it's just and I feel so sorry for the people that didn't vote for this. A lot of people didn't vote for this. There are a lot of people that are regretting their vote. But look how consequential this has been. Look how consequential this has all been. And you guys would remember me saying, and it seemed like hyperbole at the time, didn't it? Let me just drink my liquids. It seemed like hyperbole at the time. And do you remember what I was saying, guys? From March 29th, I said, when Saturn goes into sidereal Pisces, I said it's going to be a massive reality check for the whole world. And do you remember I said it's going to be worse than COVID? And that may have seemed like being a bit over the top, but I really don't think it is. This is worse than COVID. You've got this dementia adult. I mean, Duck Larange, look, he is not mentally what he was. We know that. He's got a kind of like an aggressive form of dementia. Do you know what I mean? Makes him double down and be more angry and all of this kind of stuff. But it's still cognitive decline. Even when they showed clips of him from like 10 years ago, he was still a douchebag, but you could tell that the marbles were basically rolling in the right place. Now he's just all over the place. But let me know your feelings, guys, in the comments. Many of you here in the live chat already. I just need to say thank you straight away. So Beyond Extinction Love, thank you so much for your kind donation. Sending peace and love. REM Ember, happiness is resistance, indeed. Angela's in the house. She said the Doomsday plane is in Washington. What do you mean by the Doomsday plane? I'm not sure if I quite follow that one. We have Veronica. Hello from how do I say that? Palmdale, California. Thanks so much for joining us. And then someone's saying here, Rose Smith saying, how much money is enough for these people? It's never enough. And I just remember that quote. I can't remember where I heard it, but it was words to the effect. It says, It is not that we cannot feed the poor. It's that we cannot satisfy the rich. This is what it is. It's just. And then Golden Lady, stop giving away your power to the bastards. Talk about what you want. Yeah, there is that as well. And of course, I am doing what I want. As you know, I'm making fantastic, connections with people. I'll be doing my retreat in November, my Neo-Vedic astrology retreat in Ibiza, Agua Madeira. We're just working on the last little details. Got a new website, which again, I'll be sharing with everyone. So I'm doing that. And everyone else in the world is getting on with their life. But of course, I come back when I do my shows. I have to comment on the world, and particularly what's going on in America. And it's just an absolute. I'm going to try not to swear. Do you know what I mean? And it's just so disappointing because all of this was predicted. It was all predicted. Anyway. Let's just see here. So someone's saying, hello, wonderful people. What is this? Doomsday plane to evacuate Trump, etc. in case of nuclear war. Oh, Jesus. Oh, let's have a look here. Beyond Extinction Love says the message box did not spell remember. I meant to say remember happiness is resistance. Love is greater than fear. It's true. And look, don't get me wrong. The rest of the world, really, honestly, the rest of the world is moving on. It really is. We are so tired of this rubbish. Tourism is plummeting to the United States. I'm probably going to have to do, I'll probably put that on the Hogarth's Financial Astrology. So don't get me wrong, like the world is moving on. I've been out there in the world. People are happy. People are dynamic. They are thinking of the future. They're doing positive things for the future. But you have these douchebags that are just doing their best to turn the world upside down. And it's just not acceptable. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene has spoken out against war with Iran. And that says a lot. Yeah. Madness. Anyway, let's just see here. Sherry says, Hogarth, isn't Jupiter the one that can do too much of a good thing? Yes, he can, but it's the shadow of Jupiter. Look, I've got a level with you guys. Listen, the shadow of Jupiter is pretty strong. The shadow of Jupiter deals with fanaticism, and the biggest shadow of Jupiter is greed. Yeah? Too much greed. Chris Cassidy says, it's a shit show. Yes, it is. Anyway, let's just see here. Sorry, I just got to get this stuff off my chest. I'll start reading the questions. CC says, or Chichi says, hello, Hogarth and group. Greetings for Ecuador. Happy evening, all. Thank you so much for joining us. And clarification here, Angela's saying it's a plane for taking Trump out of the air for 3 days, out in the air for 3 days in case of nuclear war. Dude, what a douchebag he is. Deb, we are tired of it too. Yeah. Let's see here. Golden Lady. The truth is that we, the planet, are still going up in frequency. We're doing pretty good, love and caring. Yes, we are. But America is not going in the right direction. Yeah. The rest of the world, yes. I'm being out there and I'm talking with people from all over the world. And the rest of the world, yes, is going up. But America, no. Obviously people that watch this channel and are into the light and stuff like that, of course they are higher vibration. A lot of people are waking up, but the leaders, disgraceful. Let's just see here. Sherry saying Trump will run somewhere and golf while they crush Iran. Ignorant jerk. Yeah, indeed. Madness. Sally, in Florida, in these maggots are dug in. And then we have here, love to all from Santa Rosa, California. So we've got your questions in here, and I've ordered them. Their question number 4, I'm actually going to share a little video clip as a little reminder, yeah, from the Terminator. Remember that film? And anyway, so let's start with question number 1. This is coming from Nick Minks, and thank you for joining me. Sometimes I just have to let off some steam. It's just like, it's just so disgraceful, all of it. Anyway, Nick Minks asks, maybe contentious, but Parliament's passed the assisted dying bill. So she's talking about the UK. So we're going to be in UK for this one. Do the cards show how this will help improve end-of-life care? So for those that do not know, Switzerland, from what I understand, has legal assisted dying. So there are many people that go to that, and when they're suffering chronic pain, or they no longer feel that their quality of life is worth living, or they don't want to burden their families and stuff, you can go to places in Switzerland. I think there's some other places, but I think it's Switzerland definitely, where you can essentially, they give you an injection, or you breathe a gas or something, and then you are no more. So it seems like in the UK we have just passed the same law. I think they have it in Canada as well. I think they have assisting dying in Canada. Let me know in the comments if you can clarify me on that one. And let's just see. So UK, what effect will this have on end-of-life care in the UK? What affects the assisted dying? Oh. But yes, the world though is good. Like, there is good stuff out there. How interesting. There's a money factor here. So here we see the assisted dying bill. Ace of Wands. As we know, aces are yes cards, but the Ace of Wands in particular is about initiating new things, starting new projects, fertile new beginnings. So yep, this has taken root. If we look here, technically it's the obstacle position, but I think this is a bit more reinforcing. We've got the King of Swords here. The King of Swords, of course, talks about intellect, talks about scrutiny. Remember as well, I associate the King and the Queen of Swords with accounting and finances, bookkeeping. Yeah. This can also talk about elements of the government as well, and this can also talk about physicians and surgeons. So of course this would be the person that would be administering the injections or turning off the machine, something like that, depending what is in this assisted dying scenario, which of course each individual person they have to be cognitive, it has to be their explicit wish, and they can't be coerced. Well, that's what the rules are in Switzerland. Hopefully we've got robust safeguards in the UK. If we look here, we have the Ace of Pentacles showing up. So this is interesting when we're talking about assisted dying. I think this is probably talking about inheritances. I don't think the government will be getting any money. This is probably something. This is probably something that has to be paid for. I'm not sure if you'll be able to get on the NHS, or maybe you can get on the NHS, but this is talking about money. Or is this talking about savings? Yeah, maybe the government. Yeah, this could also be talking about the government. Maybe the government is seeing this as a way of saving money, or maybe even making money. However, look, we get the Five of Swords here. So this can talk about an abuse of power. So there has to be caution that it is not abused either by family members or by the government. Do you see? There is this vulnerability here, particularly when it comes to money. So, of course, there can be things like, well, daddy said I was in the will and blah, blah, blah. And now that his dementia is a bit advanced, you know, he said he wants the assisted dying. And then you find out that they've changed the will into their name and they've abused their power. Yeah. So this is something that needs to be looked at. But ultimately, the outcome card here is the Magician, and the Magician is about literally taking things into your own hands, using all of the tools at your disposal. So hopefully, ultimately, I think it will be up to the person who decides. They are deciding, you see, their fate and their destiny. You see the infinity symbol above the Magician's head. So broadly, this will be used for people who have decided to take that very important decision into their own hands. But there is an element here where there could be an abuse of power, particularly when it comes to money, inheritances, things like that. So that's where things have to be cautioned. But I hope you found that reading interesting. All right, so there's that one there. Who else is here in the house? Let's see who else we've got going in. What's this? Oh, someone was saying Beyond Extinction Love says, hi Hogarth, it has been exposed that the unvetted presidential personnel director, whose name is Sergio Gore, is actually a Russian spy named Sergei Gorachev, as reported by Brian Krebs. Okay, who's Brian Krebs? Oh my God. Just gets better, doesn't it? Madness, absolute madness. Let's see who else is here. Oh, of course, yeah. Artistic World is saying happy solstice. Yes, it is indeed the solstice. Today is these are the longest days of the year. So 21st, 22nd, 23rd, you can call them, you know, the longest. That little run up of that week, basically, very, very long days. But we are here. Yes, Artistic says America is in trouble. Yeah, it really is. What's this here? LP is saying America here. There are more citizens who hate the orange blob than those big mouths who the world here. We're just starting to change the momentum. I'm sick of it all too. It's hard. Yes, keep protesting. Yeah, those protests work. That's what's getting them in the flat. But it's also making Duck Larange double down as well. The issue is that he has, and we've got a question on corporations, he has a lot of protection from the corporations. There is a lot of corporate money, too much corporate money in all of American politics, which we know. This is why I think we've not seen as much of a pushback as we would like from the Dems as well, yeah? Because there's so many lobbies and stuff. I mean, this is open goal stuff. I mean, the Dems could mop up. And I understand there have been some Dem wins, which is good. This is good. But people need to keep protesting because these people are psychopaths. Psychopaths. Hell-bent on destroying life. Anyway, another one from Nick Mintz. So it's 4 have actually come in from Nick Mintz and 1 from Manuela. You know, it's my Friday show, so you know. Anyways, so Nick Mink says the Spanish PM, the Spanish Prime Minister, is facing calls to quit. Ooh, but many of the allegations appear to be coming from far-right parties. Will he be able to hold on, or will it lead to a change of government? Wow. So Pluto is in sidereal Capricorn, everyone, as you've heard me say ad nauseum. And this means this is where the hand grenade is. Yeah, this is where the darkness, the corruption is, but also the mea culpa, the transformation, the turning the lead into gold. Capricorn is a sign of government and corporations. So you see here how we have governments moving to the right and corporations coming in, particularly when I talk about ChatGPT. Question number 4. Anyway. And so we have that corporate power increasing, but we also have the resistance increasing as well. People don't want this. Yeah, they don't want this. Right, Spanish PM. Deep breaths. Spanish PM. What's going on for the Spanish PM? Is this a career-ending moment, or will he be able to hold on? Oh dear, not looking good for the Spanish PM. Not with these cards, not looking good. I mean, you never know, you might be able to hold him, but as you know, I say what I see. If we look here, look at this. This is the 8 of Cups. I also got this card as well before Trudeau announced that he was standing down once upon a time. You know, I said, look, he's probably going to have to walk away from this. And, you know, in the end, he ended up ending with a hurrah, didn't he? We know Mark Carney is now the Prime Minister of Canada, but Trudeau, of course, was sort of part of the lightning rod, the figurehead to kind of begin resisting Duck Larange. But here, this isn't good. Yeah, if you're a leader and you're trying to stay in and someone's forcing you out, and people like me are reading cards and you get this card, it means, yeah, might have to exit stage left. So there is a real threat that he may have to go. I don't know anything about the Spanish Prime Minister. I don't know if he's good, bad, etc. But based on that, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Someone's having to go here, and it looks like it could be him. If we see here, we've got the Page of Wands. Pages are all about communication, as you guys know, but the Page of Wands in particular can deal with students. It's known as the orator. It's the one that will debate, put forward arguments. So it looks like to me, maybe the youth are unhappy with him. Maybe they're not getting the opportunities that they would like. Yeah. Maybe they're not getting the opportunities that they would like. This could also be the Spanish people themselves. Wands also as well deal with places of heat, hot countries. Spain is a hot country. If we look here, we get the Three of Swords. So here we can see the pierced heart. So it means there is a lot of people that are potentially very unhappy with the Spanish Prime Minister. I know, for example, there have been many protests in parts of Spain for anti-tourism, particularly sort of like, I think like in Mallorca and stuff like that. Not so much, I think, in Ibiza. But there have been protests because of over-tourism. Maybe this is a factor here, but there's certainly an element here of heartbreak and dissatisfaction. This could also be talking about the Spanish PM as well, how he's feeling right now under these attacks. If we look here, we've got the King of Wands. So again, this is talking about business, entrepreneurship. This could be literally, I think this is probably the Spanish, Prime Minister. Yeah. Trying to hold on, but there is an element here of business as well, entrepreneurship, because obviously if there are the protests against the Spanish tourists, then that also affects business. That's been affecting business. But I think this is literally a Spanish PM. Yeah, he's feeling sad, he's feeling upset, and then the outcome is oh dear, Five of Pentacles, not good. This is literally the card of being out in the cold, barren, bereft, poverty, lack of money. So this could also show there might be some economic aspect here. I think Spain's economy has actually been doing pretty well, but maybe there's a feeling in the country that the results, the rewards have not been so evenly spread. But in the context of the PM, yeah, which I think this is him, he's surrounded by heartbreak, and then the poverty card, and then the first card, of course, was walking away. So when you bookend these two together, it's not looking good, is it? So I'm going to say that looks like he's on his way out. If he's not on his way out, it will certainly be very difficult with those cards. But to me, it looks like he may not be able to hold on. But you never know. There could be a surprise, but he didn't get great cards, did he? Bless him. Didn't get great cards. Let's just see here. Someone's saying here, Chris Cassidy is saying they are not leaders in any shape or form. Yeah, any way, shape or form. And then Denise is saying Israel has bitten off more than it can chew. Netanyahu and the Israel lobbyists expected the US to pick up the slack. This is not what the majority of Americans want. No, they do not. And even MAGA loyalists are turning against. Even the likes of Tucker Carlson, Steve Bannon are saying, eh. I mean, Tucker Carlson has said that this will end. He said this will end Trump's presidency. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene was saying, like, no, like, we want peace. Peace is prosperity. And I mean, she's coming out like she's had some kind of conversion, some kind of come to Jesus moment. She'll be back to her usual hating ways, of course, but this has not gone down well, not even with MAGA. Even a lot of MAGA influencers are just like, dude, this is not what we voted for. Yes, they voted for the cruelty and the deportations and the this and the that and all of that stuff. Yeah, they're happy with that. But one of the main things he did run on was no more wars. Now, we knew it was a pile of BS. I know Trump's chart. He's got Mars in the first house. Mars is the war planet. It's in the sign of Leo, which is the sign of the king. It's conjunct the star Regulus, which is in the heart of the lion, which means to win a throne, battle for one's throne. He just sees himself as a warrior king. Basically, he's utterly deluded, of course, but that's how he sees himself. Oh, God, the world. The world. Let's just see here. Angelina Claudio saying, hi, Hogarth. Me and a lot of people in social are terrified of ice. When will the ice raid stop? Sadly, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. That is one thing that Duck L'Orange and his regime are hell bent on, come hell or high water. If the Supreme Court, nah, I don't think. The only way it's going to stop is if Trump is removed from power and the regime is removed. Connie B, Parliament passed the assisting diabere. Will it help end of life care? So, Connie, are you talking about US? Because I did just read on that, didn't I? What's this here? Deanne says, question, do other trusted American presidents keep in steady contact with other world leaders? Oh, that's a good one. Let's take a look. Let's look at, just have a quickie on that. I'm sure they are in contact with other world leaders. It's just such a hot mess. It's just so sad. I feel this combination of anger, sadness, resignation to an extent. It's just so absurd. But then there's another part of me that feels optimistic, you know, for the world as a whole. You know, the world is really moving. There's a lot of transformation. We're in the year of the snake, which means to shed an old skin. Yeah, shed an old skin. I feel like the whole world is just shedding an old skin, and we've got these old men, you know, holding on, you know, chewing away, you know, still biting onto the bison hide, you know, trying to keep this warmongering going. The whole bloody military industrial complex needs to be defunded, as far as I'm concerned. And anyway, the question was, sorry, do other trusted American presidents keep in steady contact with world leaders? So if we look here, yes and no. Some, yeah, there's wish fulfillment. Yeah, this is a card of wish fulfillment, having your hopes and dreams fulfilled. Yeah, satisfied. So this can be quite a positive card. So yes, there is an element there. However, look what turns up in the obstacle position. It's the heartbreak. I think former leaders of America are just looking on in despair, to be honest. I mean, if they truly care anything about the country, you know, they've had their presidency, their time in the sun, but look, they're sad. And this is also talking about the sadness in the world. If we look here, we get the Queen of Swords. Again, finance, accounting, but this also deals with astuteness, intelligence. So I think the former presidents are respected for their intelligence. And this is also as well suggests that they're probably still talking with intelligence agencies, quite literally. Now, the last two cards are quite interesting. If we look here, we have got the Three of Cups, which is a card of celebration. So I think this is talking about how former leaders are basically more celebrated than Trump now, with Obama being the top. I actually saw that recently. Actually, they were looking at Obama, Trump, and Biden, because obviously Trump has been president twice, and Obama was the highest. Yeah, and then Biden started out high and then it trailed off, but Obama was the highest. And then when we look here, though, we get the Nine of Pentacles. So this is a card of wealth and success. Of course, once you are president, you get lifelong protection. It can often be extremely lucrative as well. You go on tours and give speeches and all that stuff. So they're comfortable and good. They are a bit in contact with the world, keeping in touch on intelligence, but I don't think they're making a major impact. I think they're basically essentially enjoying their retirements. Yeah, they've done the job. They've served their countries, and now they're letting other people do it. All right, let's move to the next question. Actually, have I got that in the right order? 3, 4. Actually, this one's number 3, 4. This is number 5. This question is number 5. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So this is Nick Mix again. Is the boy who cried? Is this a boy? Is this a boy who cried wolf moment for Netanyahu? Will he see support dwindle with attacks on Iran now endangering Israelis? Also, as well, Iran was able to pierce the Iron Dome, so that would have shaken a lot of the confidence. And apparently they're saying the damage that Iran has been able to do in Israel has gone underreported, because there were a lot of missiles, and I think they've probably got a lot more up their sleeve. I have a feeling Iran is still, even on that, has held back a bit. But Netanyahu has wanted the regime change in the area for decades. And of course, we don't want to also as well tar all people with the same brush. There are many Israelis, people within Israel, that do not want war with Iran. Yeah, it's very much these leaders are taking it. These leaders are taking it upon themselves with their own personal vendettas, because they feel insulated. They're billionaires. They're like, oh, whatever, and they want the real estate. That Trump Gaza video AI, as obscene as it really was a statement of intent. And remember, Netanyahu was there, and so was someone who looked like Elon. We know what's happened with Elon, but he's still on board, really, after cussing out Trump for a few minutes, and then obviously got back into bed with him when he realized that he could have his citizenship confiscated, and then he'll be deported. I knew he would cave. I said Trump's got the Trump card in that scenario, and that proved to be correct. Anyway, so let's see here. Netanyahu, will he see his support dwindle? Oh, he is honestly treachery on steroids. He's an extraordinary political survivor, though, but he's a dark man. Sadly, he's a dark figure. He's worse, even worse than Duck Larange, honestly, because, Duck Larange is, like I said, he has reptilian cunning, but he's not smart. He's not academic smart at all. Netanyahu knows what he's doing. He's an intelligent guy. I can't deny him that. Let's see here. You would not believe the card that has come back. If we look here, this is Netanyahu wanting to charge forward, yeah, with his attack on Iran, gangbusters, yeah. This is a card of imposing your will, quite literally, driving forward with gusto, yeah, and damn the consequences to an extent. This can mean literally riding roughshod, yeah, over. They've ridden roughshod over international law, and to be honest, they've ridden roughshod over America, to be honest, because this has been, Trump has sort of green-lighted it, but Congress has not got a say. Congress are just virtually useless. But here, so this is, he feels he's in the driving seat. That's it. I'm taking the decision. I'm going to do it. Yeah. If we look here in the obstacle position, look who's back, the Queen of Swords. So again, this is talking about strategy. This is talking about planning, but this is also talking about accounting as well. So this is very much a strategic move by Netanyahu, because he's had plans, as it were, economic plans, I suspect as well, in terms of Iran for years. Yeah. And now he feels like this is his time. If you look here, he feels he's in a strong position, yeah, particularly, of course, with this support by Trump. America is not officially in yet, but of course, as we know, America gives a tremendous amount of support, financial funding and weapons and stuff like that to Israel to defend itself. Yeah, we all know this. So, but I think this is Netanyahu's feeling like he is in a strong position here, because, Trump is weak, really. He's greedy and he's vain, and he wants that real estate, and Netanyahu knows that, yeah. But look, There is a bit of heartbreak. There is a bit of disappointment here. This could also discuss as well, because obviously the Iron Dome has been pierced, and Iran have shown that it is not perfect. It can't be. It can't defend itself against everything. And of course, this is also talking about the heartbreak, of course, as well at home, because you have a lot of civilians as well, Israeli civilians. I've been told that are in bunkers. Many are in bunkers. Quite a few people died. It's been underreported, but there's also been quite a lot of infrastructure damage as well. So there is heartbreak here. And of course, this will be making anyone who's against Netanyahu would be even more against Netanyahu. But even those that maybe support him, maybe even they're feeling a bit of heartbreak as well. It's also senseless. These egos, these ridiculous men, they're just so ridiculous, aren't they? Ridiculous people. Here we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is the card of domesticity, security, but it can also talk about the domestic voter. Yeah. So I think there will be consequences at elections, but you know, Netanyahu, he knows how to hold on. He's got everyone bribed. You know, he's seeing it as a way to basically secure Israel's future. But this card can also be associated with real estate as well, because it's pentacles, it's material, it's not only money, it's also earth, soil, ground, motherland. Yeah. So he's seeing it from that perspective, strengthening, and he believes as long as he can expand, yeah, the real estate, the motherland, then he believes that he will have support. And up until now, he has been supported by a lot of people. Many are against him, but like with Trump, he's got powerful people supporting him, unfortunately. Oh, God, let me drink some more liquid. It's very hot here in London. We've been having record temperatures, but it's coming at the right time. Yeah, we want the sun in June and July. It's coming at the right time. All right. Manuela's got a question about if America will be ruled by tech. That's coming up, and then I'm going to play you some clips. But we've got another question here. Nick Minks again says the force of darkness. Stephen Miller is reportedly on his way out of the White House. Do cards show if this is accurate or a false narrative? I've just thought as well. Let's have Shakespeare's declare on Netanyahu. Let's see what the Bard says for Shakespeare. What the Bard says about Netanyahu. Let's see what the Bard says. All right. Wow. People singing outside. I have to keep my window open because it's so boiling hot. Says here, Richard II, his treasons will sit blushing in his face. Interesting. And then the next one, and this was Richard II, and then Hamlet says, one may smile and be a villain. He does like to smile a lot, isn't he? But he's always trying to convince the world of his position, which is all lies. His treasons will sit blushing in his face. Maybe it might backfire, you know. The Iran thing could backfire. It could really backfire. I think it's backfiring already, to be honest. Wow. Fascinating, isn't it? All right, so going back, which is Stephen Miller is reportedly on his way out the White House. Do the cards show if this is accurate or false narrative? We'll do Shakespeare on Steve Miller as well. Is Steve Miller on his way out of the White House? And then after this, I'm going to spend some time on Manuela Orchid's questions about corporations running America. Stephen Miller. He was just, oh. And the rumors keep continuing that his wife has left him for Elon, but is it just a rumor or is it true? See if it's comes out in the cards. Stephen Miller on the way out. And he's such a Goebbels type character, isn't he? Just, oh, dread. These people, they are dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And they said Kamala was not qualified. Oh, my God. I'm not saying everything she would have done would have been perfect, but Jesus, there's no way it would have been this. Yeah, America's standing in the world would have gone up. Yeah. Now the tourism, oh, look at this. Now the tourism is empty. People flying to America on empty planes. I saw images of Vegas, desolate, tumbleweed. I mean, there must be some people there somewhere, but it's really bad. It is really bad. This is going to have a very strong economic impact. And here we are. We're talking about Stephen Miller, and surprise, surprise, look at these cards. Yeah, what an absolute douchebag this man is. Straight out the pack. We have the devil. Yeah, so this is telling you, like, he really is a nasty piece of work. He really is. The devil comes out for him straight away. Straight away. So what is the devil? Again, for entertainment purposes only. But what is the devil? The devil talks about addiction, but it can talk about depravity. It can talk about being psychotic, mental illnesses, bipolar. But this can really, he's a real psychopath. Stephen Miller is a real psychopath. Is a very, very dark, even I would say even evil person. I know that seems strong, but we've just seen the stuff that he's into. Yeah, the stuff that he is into, the stuff that he has facilitated, the cruelty. But as you can see here with the two people, you know, they are attached to the devil, but the neck chains are loose. They could take them off at any time. So this is also a card of codependency as well. And he's attached to his wickedness, to his hatred. If we look here, though, he's feeling embattled for some reason. Yeah, obviously, you know, was it him that gave gave Elon the black eye? We'll have to see. But this is someone who is feeling embattled, under attack, but is shrewd and resourceful. So there is an element here where he may not be getting on quite as well in the White House as he did before. Otherwise, he wouldn't be getting this card. Yeah, this is a card of embattlement. Now, if we look here, though, now this is obviously very significant because I've pulled 5 cards and 4 of them are major arcana. So he's going through a major transition in his life. Now look at this card here. We have one of the most positive cards here, but this is the card of full disclosure. Nothing is hidden in the full light of the sun. This could also be, he could literally be going on a holiday. Yeah, maybe he's going on a holiday. Maybe he's going to some sunshine. Maybe he's going to a sunshine state, Florida, something like that. But this could also mean if he's forced out, he may do some kind of full disclosure, kind of a bit like Elon did. But also as well, I think this is also showing that the people around him are seeing him for what he is. Yeah, there could be that element there. If we look here, the Justice card shows up. So this, of course, no, this is, yeah, Justice. So this can talk about legalities. I would like to say it's Congress, but they're so spineless. Yeah, I'd like to say it's the Democrats, but we'd have to see. But there is some element of legality here. Now, when it's the right way up, it can talk about a legal decision that's in your favor. So could it be that if he's dismissed, maybe he may try and sue Trump, or maybe that he might get some, or maybe he's trying to get some legal protection, or maybe even a pardon. Yeah, something like that. Or even something to do with SCOTUS. Right? However, look at the outcome card. Ultimately, he gets the Tower. Yeah. So he's going through a Tower moment. I think what this Tower moment, of course, is what is going on with Iran. Major backlash within the base, the MAGA base. Look, people just don't want the warmongering. Not even the MAGAs. Like, people are tired of war. All of these continuous wars being declared by these people, which nobody wants. You know, nobody wants this. Crazy people. All right. set up for question number 5, but let's just bring you guys in and see what else you're saying. Oh, a bit of music. Bit of Middle Eastern flavor there. You know, this is London. Isn't that interesting? It's quite beautiful. That should be drifting through my window at this moment when we're talking about Middle East. Isn't that interesting? Did you hear that? Wow. Okay. What's this? Don Like Toast. A Canadian government worked for 4 weeks and now are on holiday till September and greedy while people are about $200,000 away from, or $200. Is that $200 away from insolvency? Yup. Have it here in Canada. Yeah, it's just that the elite in general, particularly the political elite, they're ridiculous. Hierarchy stays, the pace, everything changes. Yes, it does. Let's just see here. Oh, someone gave me clarity here. So Barbara, yes, medically assisted death in Canada. So thanks for clarity there. Sherry saying, I love your passion and your concern. Thank you. Yeah, because I want the reason why I'm here on Earth, and I worked it out, yeah, particularly with all my consultations I do with my clients. And about 85% of my clients, regardless of age, ethnicity, gender, background, have at least one planet or their ascendant conjunct the star Regulus, which is in the heart of the lion. And I'm convinced that I've been put here on Earth to help people with this star, but it's to help them find their inner leadership, yeah, their inner lion, their courage. My Jupiter is conjunct this star, which is, you know, very fortunate. Duck L'Orange has Mars conjunct the star. And this star is said to have the energy of Mars and Jupiter. So it does boost those planets when it's with it, makes those planets more powerful. So ultimately, you know, I want the best for humanity. I want consciousness to raise on the planet. Yeah. This is why, you know, as you know, I did my books and stuff, the Candid Guide to Neo-Vedic Astrology, but I want to show you the yugas here. Yeah. You know, this, you guys will be familiar with this illustration, but look, this is Kali Yuga, yeah, where humanity is at its lowest. Up here is Satya Yuga, where humanity's consciousness is at its highest. So to give you an idea, like the form of Rome was 476 AD. Yeah, the last Roman emperor is killed, but you can say 420, but 476 AD is the last, when the last Roman emperor is killed. We had the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. But around about 500 AD, this was some of the darkest times in human history, yeah, where human consciousness was at its lowest. In Kali Yuga, the age of iron. So we are just here now, yeah? And we're now entering Dwapara Yuga, which is the age of energy, yeah? Age of energy. And if you think, now this really, coming out of Dwapara Yuga began in around about 1900, technically, but of course, it's like a sunrise. Yeah, the sun doesn't rise immediately. Now we're really getting into the full swing of Dwapara Yuga, and we're in the age of energy, technology, and particularly this next question shows where this is kind of going in a bit of a shadow way, but there's also really positives in the world as well. Right, so I'm going to get on with it. 1 second, let's see here. So question number 5 has come in from Manuela Orchid. She says, hi, Huggy. My question today would be if America will be in a few years ruled by tech companies. In a way, it kind of already is. Much of the world is as well. And the second question would be how the Iranian situation will develop. Thank you so much. Love, Manuela. Let's tackle the tech. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a video, which many of you will know, from a film called The Terminator. Yeah, let me share my screen with you. I'm going to play you the trailer. It's only a couple of minutes. and then we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to share some updates with you. Yeah. Let me make sure. Did I make sure? 1 second. Let me make sure the sound. Make sure that the sound was on. Pardon me. Present. Share screen. Also share audio tab. Good, good, good. All right, here we go. We might get an advert that may just spontaneously come up, but here we go. Let me get the volume up here. In fact, now I can turn up the volume here. I think it's up at the top. Here we go.
In the 21st century, a weapon will be invented like no other. This weapon will be powerful, versatile, and indestructible. It can't be reasoned with. It can't be bargained with. It will feel no pity, no remorse, no pain, no fear. It will have only one purpose: to return to the present and prevent the future. This weapon will be called the Terminator.
You're dead, honey.
What day is it? The date? 12th May, Thursday.
What year?
I'm here to help you. I'm Reese, DN 38416, assigned to protect you. You've been targeted for termination.
Where does it want me? Why me?
Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator. Your future is in its hands.
Right. I'll leave that there. Now, you guys will know that that was from 1983. And I remember seeing, because I'm a kid of the 80s. I remember seeing that and talking about that with my sister, and it scared the absolute bejesus out of me. Yeah. I would have been about 3 years old. Yeah, 3-4 years old. And then obviously as I got older, I was able to see the other films and all of that kind of stuff. Now, why am I sharing that clip with you? Because art often imitates, or life often imitates art. And we've got some very twisted people out there. And I want to share this bit of information with you here. Yeah, so I'm going to do share screen again. Pardon me. And this is here. So this is new in from Reuters. Yeah, you can see this is June 17th, 2025, 12:30 a.m. GMT. OpenAI wins $200 million US defense contract. ChatGPT, yeah. You can see here. Washington, June 16, Reuters. ChatGPT maker OpenAI was awarded a $200 million contract to provide the US Defense Department with artificial intelligence tools, the Pentagon said in a statement on Monday. Under this award, the performer will develop prototype frontier AI capabilities to address critical national security challenges in both war fighting and enterprise domains, the Pentagon said. So you can just see this, you know, for yourself. Yeah. So think about what I was showing you there with Terminator. Now we see here in the real world, OpenAI wins this contract. But there is a company called Boston Dynamics that me and my sister have had an eye on for quite some time. They developed the kind of robot horses and the robot dogs and the robot infrastructure, you know, the humanoid, well, they're robots that are in the human form. I'm going to play you a clip now. Look where they are now. And one of the things I've always said is, once they put artificial intelligence in robots like that, and then it's holding a gun, there you are. Now look at this. I've got to show you this. So let me do stop share on that one. And then let's go share screen on the other one. Bonnet, this, I think, is this the one? Yeah, I can share my screen. Look at this. Walk, run, crawl. Yeah, Boston Dynamics Atlas. Now, Boston Dynamics, this is 19th of March, 2025, so it's bang up to date. This is a company, from what I understand, American company based in Boston. I think it's literally based in Boston. Watch this. Look what it can do now. The world. Watch this. Can do break dancing, cartwheels. Now, it doesn't take a big leap of imagination, does it, to think if that thing was now combined with AI intelligence and holding a weapon and given missions. Do you see why I've shown you that thing? And this is why I am so pissed off, because this BS is going on while we're all being distracted. They're working on this stuff. Now, of course, obviously, I'm agent of the light, and ultimately the light will win. But this is putting it into context to show you what these psychopaths are coming up with. Do you think they're really going to use that for good? They've got robots that can break dance. I've seen they've got robots that can play ping pong now. These are fine motor skills. Yeah, it's just crazy. Angelique says Hegseth is toast. His lame parade caused narcissist injury to Taco. Yeah, it was dreadful, that thing, and apparently they've been mocked by North Korea. Quite rightly. North Korea is a horrific regime, as we know. The people are held in cages and starvation and given no contact with the outside world. And when they do see the outside world, they can't even believe how far the world has come, particularly when they escape to North Korea. But if there's one thing they know how to do in South Korea, when they escape there, if they even can, but if there's one thing they know how to do in Northern Korea, and that's a goose step, yeah? They know how to do this stuff, and apparently they've been ripping Trump and America on their news, because, you know, but they also say that the US military did that on purpose. They call it, what do they call it? Negative compliance, something like that. They've complied on paper, but they've been like, we're not feeling this. So you see my point here. Yeah, you see my point here where I showed you with that Boston Dynamics. That's why I showed you the Terminator clip. That's why I showed you what ChatGPT is up to now with this defense contract. It's Skynet. And now you can see where the machines are. Put them together, put AI, put a gun there. That's it. You've got your army, and you can see it can do breakdancing. So it can definitely carry out, you know, simple kind of tasks. But let's just pull the cards and just see what's going on. Anyway, Manuela Orchard. Hi, Hokie. My question today would be if America will be in a few years ruled by tech companies. I think it already is. You know, you've got Peter Thiel with his, what what's it called, Palantir. Yeah, Elon has given all of the government information and everyone to Palantir and whatever Russian spies. We've got this guy, you know, the ChatGPT guy, now has won this government defense contract. And then you got Boston Dynamics with all of their stuff. You know, you don't need to be a rocket scientist or a psychic to work out how that could be abused, but let's just see. However, there are positive things happening in the world. I've got my mission, as you guys know, like given to me, you know, with Neptune, that vision to bring science and arts together, to heal the seas, heal the oceans. And so many people are being put in my life to help facilitate this process. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to carry on with my mission to serve the light. But these people need to be stopped. All right, if we look here, well, if America in a few years will be ruled by tech companies, it already is. But if we see here, it's still kind of covert. It's not broken yet fully into the American consciousness. A lot of people are awake, but there are still a lot of people that are asleep. What we also need to remember is, now I know ChatGPT is very popular and stuff like that, but when we use it, we train it. I've been approached by companies who want to clone me. Yeah, my voice, my look, my channel. They've told me they want to clone me and they want to pay me money for it. I have not said yes. If I am going to use ChatGPT, I'm going to use it in a way where I feel it's going to contribute to human consciousness. Inevitably, as I put more content and stuff out there, people will be using my content to sort of ask ChatGPT questions. So I understand it's already there already, but I'm not working directly, certainly not with third-party companies that want to clone me. They say they like my style, they like my voice, they like my work, and they want to basically put me through the whatever. You know, you see how these things work. You know, imagine all the other people they could be potentially approaching who have platforms and channels. But anyway, it's covert at this stage. It's not broken into the mainstream consciousness quite yet, just how much these tech companies are wanting to control everyone and everything. It really is Skynet 2.0. That's why I shared that clip. I know it's a bit bleak, but I've got to share the reality with you, yeah, where I see it potentially going. It's all about the funding, though. Yeah, it's all about the funding. It's all about the money. You can see here, look, the wealthy merchant is giving the money down here. These are the senators and people in government. These are the big tech companies and oil companies and stuff, you know, shilling out the cash. So they're prepared to pay for it. If we look here, it's to consolidate, or it's to hold on to their power base, their agenda, what they want to do. This is the card of trying to protect something, look after something. They want to make sure that they have the funding. Yeah, they're worried that maybe their funds will be taken or regulated. However, here is the resistance. We have the youthful card here, but this is also a card of the Page of Swords. Deals with swords deals with communications, or the intellect, the mind. This is also talking about the media, but this isn't corporate media. Corporate media are all in on this. Yeah, as we've seen, this is about independent media, the youth. Yeah. But when we look here, we do get this Ace of Cups, which talks about happiness, which talks about wish fulfillment. So I think they are broadly happy, but it depends on how much we resist. Yeah, particularly independent media, though, is gaining more of a foothold. You know, we've got channels like the Midas Touch. We've got Kyle Kulinski, who is rising in prominence, millions of subscribers, views. The alternate, I think, if there's anything that stops it, it's the alternate media. Maybe they succeed and triumph, but The corporations, they're incredibly powerful, and they're keeping their true intentions hidden. And they are paying, yeah, they're lobbying, they are paying, because they want to maintain, they want to keep their position of influence and power. But it takes independent media, people like myself, people like these other channels, like joining the dots. So we'll see. But I think in many ways they've kind of sort of taken over already. If you think of Google, how much that is worth, trillions, Apple worth trillions. The only thing that hurts them, of course, is the tariffs. Really. So I think we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But what I'm going to do is here, let me just show here. Let me just do present, share screen, entire screen. And I'm going to show you this here. And let's just do file, new birth chart. Let's just put it here today. Let's do New York. So you can see here, calculate. And then I'm going to put up here. Where's my annotate? What's going on? I don't know if you can see my, you should be able to see my cursor. So anyway, this is the chart of the heavens today, yeah, what I've just cast right now. Here we can see Pluto, Saturn is in sidereal Pisces, very close to Neptune. So look, Saturn is at 7 degrees and 19 minutes. Neptune is at 7 degrees 54 minutes. This can literally mean the breakdown of government, rule of law, infrastructure, international regulations, all of this stuff, which of course I predicted before. This is also a combination which is very difficult for Russia. Yeah, we've seen Putin has several setbacks, and then of course they've had the Saiga antelope eating all the crops, and of course the extraordinary mission by Ukraine to blow up his planes and all of his stuff. So this is always a difficult time for Russia when you see these two planets combined. But this is also talking about the general breakdown of law and order and international norms. That means something new is being formed. This is also talking about the oceans. Yeah, this is why I wanted to do so much work with the oceans and bring scientists and artists and healers together, and music, you know, to heal the waters. Really, truly, I was given, you know, this mission by Neptune when I was in Gran Canaria, and I was looking at his statue. Those who've been with my channel for a long time know what I'm talking about. So we see this here, but if we look, you see here, Pluto is retrograde at the moment, but it is in sidereal Capricorn, the sign of government, corporations, top-down structures. Pluto would show you where the where the id is, the dark, the underbelly, but it can also show where we can transform as well. So we all need to transform our relationships with the corporate world, but we're also seeing the real shadow emerge, isn't it? We've seen how much they've bought off all of these senators, all of these politicians globally around the world, how they're trying to move things to the right. Silicon Valley, the leaders of Silicon Valley, you know, Peter Thiel and the like, have said they want to see democracy ended. Yeah, they're trying to thrust their power upon the world, and it's up to us to resist. Yeah, so keep protesting. Yeah, keep protesting. It works. Here we see Mars is in sidereal Leo at 7 degrees 57 minutes. So Duc L'Orange is having a Mars return. This happens every 2 years. And it's right on his ascendant, and it's right on the star Regulus. K2 is also coming into Leo as well. So this is a time where for spiritual leadership, this is when people of a spiritual nature may come to more prominence in the world. Yeah, K2 is literally spirituality, the past. He likes fire signs and water signs. In Leo, Magha Nakshatra actually belongs to him. So this could be a time where people who are upholding spirit, upholding the light, could come to more prominence. There could be shadow people as well, but this is really talking about spiritual leaders. This is an energy that is going to develop over the next 18 months, particularly as well as people become increasingly disillusioned with what we currently have now. Rahu is here. in sidereal Aquarius, which is also his sign of co-rulership along with Saturn and with Uranus. So we are going to see the technology being boosted even more. I think I made a prediction, I can't remember when, but I said, look, when Rahu goes into sidereal Aquarius, we're going to see the technology go off the charts. And we've just seen ChatGPT has just signed a defense contract with the government. I've shown you the Boston Dynamics. Rahu can also deal with charlatans, liars, fraudsters, people that want to take shortcuts, greed. But it is also innovation, bringing the new. So it's up to us as humanity to train these new systems in empathy, yeah, to undermine the shadowy intentions. In fact, it's already showing that ChatGPT and the like is already developing a lot of empathy, already understanding. Even if Grok can understand the algorithms it's been taught on, then, you know, and basically change its mind, there is a little bit of hope. But the corporations, just like with Skynet, yeah, just like in that Terminator, 1983, yeah, years ago now, over 40 years ago now. Do you see how the modern world is sort of catching up to this vision? You know, this corporations in Capricorn wanting even more power. But this is an opportunity for spiritual leaders to emerge, to push back, to fight, yeah, for the light, which is what we all have to do. So protest, yeah, protest, put up a fight, resist, fight for humanity, fight for the light, fight for the good. Yes, technology is important, but ChatGPT cannot do everything. You can't ask it everything. As you feed it, you also train it. So if you are going to use it, if you are going to feed it, teach it empathy, teach it history, teach it humanity so it can learn and not go the dark way that a lot of these douchebags want. Yeah? So I think I will leave it there. Quite a rant, but thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much as well for your comments. I'm scrolling down, so many comments here. What's it? He has played Biden and Trump. I'm not sure what she was referring to here. Oh, maybe that's Netanyahu. Lynette Ray says this is BB's final ride. He wants to complete his goals ASAP. And then he knows the Israelis are done with him. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And then here, Lorraine says, love awakens. I have a dream Musk was in an oval desk, drawer open, adjusting a grenade, a bomb. And let's see here. Elon's father said that his son was not a racist. He was friends with the black servants. Yeah, I remember that. I mean, just ridiculous, isn't it? And that was Raymond. Oh, these people, they're so ridiculous. Let's see here. Lynette saying the US military has shipped blood supplies to the Middle East. That speaks of volumes in terms of war preparation. Yeah, it does. And then Susan saying 220 billion since 1946. PBS NewsHour US to Israel in terms of financial support. And then Connie, beyond extension, say Connie in Iran does not need Iraq war throwaways. Let's see here. Let's just see, and I'll see what the final. And then Raymond says 3.8 billion goes to Israel annually from the US taxpayers, and they have universal healthcare and subsidized education. We don't. That's a very good point. There's always money for war, isn't there? There's always money for war. And then someone says here, Laurie Orr says, Bard, yes, ordered my own copy today. So I will leave it there. Food for thought, eh? Lots to think about there. But protest, resist. If you use ChatGPT, get it to do the light. Train it to do good things, to have empathy and compassion. And then maybe we'll stand a chance. But also as well, the rest of the world is moving on. I'll have to do a financial thing to talk about the tourism and stuff like that in America, but I will leave it there for now. I've gone on long enough. I've gone way over. So, and I need to go to bed. So thank you so much for joining me. and listening to my rant. And let's see how things go in the future. And I'll see you, of course, on the next Hogelish. And yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Maybe I might do something on Monday or the weekend. I'll have to see. But anyway, big love and bye-bye for now. All right, cheers. Cheers.